us as he does each week. Jim Rice here with us, of course. And we were talking about it yesterday during the broadcast. Jerry Remy said he hated it when a position player came into pitch because everybody thought you were going to be able to go deep on every pitch. And it's guys throwing so far under the speed that you're used to, it's pretty hard to get anything done. Mo, what did you feel like when a position player came in?
I hated it. First of all, either you're down a bunch or you're up a bunch. And then your concentration level usually isn't where it needs to be. And then on top of it, you're walking in there and you think you're swinging for the fences. And I just never got anything out of it. How'd you do, Jimmy?
Well, I don't think I recall hitting against a position player. We had a 4-man rotation, so the whole time I played the 16 years, they always had pitchers. They always had guys in the bullpen or guys want to work on things, but we never had a position player.
Well, yesterday we had two different guys come in once it got one-sided, and they were coming in. One guy was throwing in the 70s, the other guy was throwing a knuckleball, and like you said, Mo, everybody thinks you're going to go deep every time, but you got to generate all your own power. I thought the Red Sox yesterday actually had a pretty good approach. It was almost a batting practice approach where they're just kind of slapping stuff into the outfield.
I just think, at that time, either you're up big or down big. And I just think it's difficult to concentrate. And, you're kind of just trying to get through the bat without making yourself look bad. I think that's the first and foremost thing. You want to get struck out or something funny with some of these guys when you're on ESPN. But I just don't think the concentration level is as good as it needs to be as you normally feel facing an MLB pitcher.
Well, if I played in that game yesterday and I walked up to a pitcher and the pitcher got his hat turned the other way, I'm not going to be able to hit. I'm not going to be able to hit anyway.
I knew something was coming from that.
Right.
I knew. And he's not even left-handed. It looked like the hat was like a left-handed. One thing about that, you guys would be happy about those. You never had to pitch. When you're a superstar, you're not the guy they're asking to come into pitch. So at least you never had to worry about that, which is good. Hey, we saw over the weekend 7-inning doubleheaders, Mo. And we're seeing more of these now. Obviously, they need to do it to make up all the games they're going to lose. But Alex Cora was saying over the weekend, he really likes him. He thinks there's more urgency. He thinks the pitching staff now is better suited for 7 innings. What do you think about these 7-inning games?
I don't know how I feel yet. I was kind of caught off guard. We know we should know the rules when the season starts. But the 7-inning game definitely there's more urgency. You've got to start managing much earlier in the game. It does, in a way, save your bullpen. I think I'm just going to have to get used to it. The game's changing on many, many different rules and things. And us guys who played, in the past are going to have to get used to it. But as long as it's doing things to make the game better. But it is different, and you have to start managing much earlier in the game rather than a 9-inning game.
We see infields ins, we see bunts being dropped down that we don't usually see. More urgency, Jim.
Yeah, but when I was playing, if it's a doubleheader, I want to play 9 innings. But now I'm on the other side of the fence. I want to see 7 innings because they play 4-hour games. So yes, you need that. Like Mo said, the game has changed because the players have changed. You started with the starting pitchers. You started with the pitch count. You started with the analytical guys. And so we got to make that adjustment. Adjustment this year is 7-inning games for a doubleheader.
Well, and again, you're missing so many games because, Minnesota Twins haven't played now in 5 days because of a COVID exposure. The other thing I want to ask you before we head to break, and we'll come back and talk about what's going on with this team offensively, Mo, but one of the rule changes is the 3-batter minimum. A reliever comes in, he's got to face 3 guys or get out of the inning. Now, that kind of takes away the lefty specialist. And it got me thinking about you. Back in the day, what was that like, knowing there's a guy out there in the bullpen? He is there for one reason, and that's to face you late in the game with the game on the line.
As I said, it's always, Jimmy knows hitting in that 4th spot. I hit in the 3rd spot. Those 3, 4, 5 guys in our time were going to come up with guys that they knew, especially being left-handed, that were the set to get you out. The Yankees had one, Blue Jays had one, the Orioles had one. Everybody has one. And that's part of being in that spot in the order. And that's part of hitting late in the game that you're going to get that specialist in a crucial situation and you're going to get that closer in a crucial situation. So you really have to try to concentrate and really not put too much pressure on yourself in the first 2 at-bats because your last 2, you're going to need extreme focus all the data that you have coming in your mind about who you're facing and when. I told you the outs, the inning, the situation, who's on base, where they are on base, how that guy is hitting behind you is going to, kind of dictate how you need to flow through that at bat. So definitely, I think it makes it a little bit easier, no doubt. But in our time, we had to face that certain guy on each team that was set to get us out.
Being on the coaching side at one time I was there, the rule of thumb was do not let this left-handed pitcher, are you talking about lefty on lefty, beat the hitter with a fastball. I don't care if you walk him. You walk him on a breaking ball. Do not throw this guy the fastball because I could have left the right hand out there. And so those are some of the things that you're looking at when you're a left-handed hitter facing a left-handed pitcher. You got to sit soft a little bit.
You did it as well as anybody. Stay right there, Mo. We're going to come back in just a little bit. All right, second round of BP, going deep again with Mo Vaughn. We talked so much about the team-wide approach, and you guys were talking about it the first week we did this, and we're seeing it come together now, Mo. This team really seems to be taking the approach of going to the opposite field, going from center field over to the other side, and you see the hits ringing up. You see the power coming together. Why is that such a good approach for this team?
I think it's how major leaguers really take the approach to their at-bats when they go to the plate. It gives them more opportunity to keep their bat in the strike zone longer, stay on the breaking ball. Usually guys, big, powerful right-handed hitters and left-handed hitters, they're throwing you a fastball in to drive you off the plate to get you out of way breaking ball wise. Show you the fastball, get you out of way soft. So when you're staying on the ball and you're staying inside the ball, especially in Fenway Park, lefties, you staying inside the ball gives you the opportunity to hit the ball off the wall, keeps you on the breaking ball, and gives you an opportunity to keep that bat in the strike zone longer, and gives you an opportunity to get hits. It's always having a plan of action. These guys are doing great at it. All of them up and down the lineup. I told you Kiki was going to get hot. They, also with this team knows their roles. There's many, many different good role players on this team, and Alex Cora is pushing the right buttons.
You as a hitting coach, Jim, and you were Mo's hitting coach, but as a hitter, you were always a right gap guy, right? The center field over to the right side. Left-handed hitters could wear out that wall. Is that something you always preached as a hitting coach?
Well, I did, but this is something you have to look at, partner, and Mo can verify this too. You got to get 3 hits out of 10 times at bat to hit 300. Okay, now on that team, how many power hitters you have? How many power hitters will hit 30 home runs? We were lucky to have one team, Butch Hobson batting ninth. We had 6 guys hit 30 home runs. You're not going to have 6 guys on a major league team to hit 30 home runs. So why not set the table for the big guys? You go there and you get your 300, you get your 185 hits. Your job is done. You got a big contract. Everyone that you have on your team are not home run hitters.
And you mentioned Kike, and you had talked about that earlier, right? A week ago, he was barreling the ball, but he wasn't getting the results. But you got to stay with the process. Now it's paying off. Now he's getting the hits, got a couple home runs. It's starting to come together.
Listen, those guys, PK, he has won a world championship. I don't care where he's from. He won a championship in a huge market. So they got a bunch of ball players, and people don't think, I know people weren't thinking that the Red Sox were going to be strong this year. But they have a bunch of guys that have won World Series and know how to play. I can tell the roles are defined. They know what they got to do each day, going in and out from position playing to utility guys to guys coming in out of the bullpen. They know their roles, and they like playing with each other. And I can tell that this is going to be a good flow this year.
It's funny, Jim, you talk about liking playing with each other. I mean, you could talk all you want about friendships and chemistry. You got to win on the field. But certainly chemistry helps when these guys are having fun playing the game.
It starts in the clubhouse. I remember Bob Gibson was talking about himself the day that he was pitching at the time. Every guy that walked in the clubhouse said, "How you doing?" "Nah, not too good. I don't feel good." He said, "I know I had to strike out about 15 guys a day," because he knew his job. But the chemistry starts when you come in the clubhouse. Guys, hey, we look pretty good today, guys. We're going to score some runs. And the pitchers love it, too.
Hey, but Kike Hernandez, right? You guys both played here. He'd been a West Coast guy most of his career. Xander Bogaerts said he's never played in a flurry before. He's never played with that wind howling in from the outfield at Fenway Park. How difficult was the first month for hitters, Mo? Do you remember?
I said that. They were coming up from spring training. They were coming out. It was going, what was it, 80-something, 80-plus degrees. Got a little sweat going. You come in here after the adrenaline rush of opening day, and then now we got to start playing these first 45 games. And that's when it's cold. The ball is slick in your hands. You're not moving as quickly. You're tight. You feel tight. You got a lot of extra gear to stay warm. So I knew it was going to take a couple weeks for these guys to get going. I've been there, but these guys are in a great flow now. They're doing great things. They came back strong yesterday after dropping that doubleheader to win the game on a great day with the Boston Marathon. So these guys know what they got to do, and I think they're going to be consistent with it all year.
All right, Mo, real quickly before I let you go, you've been involved in the fashion industry. You were involved in making suits. Did you like the yellow jerseys with the blue lettering over the weekend?
I loved it. I thought it was hot. I didn't really understand what it was for until I thought about it and it was explained. But I think that's a tremendous tribute to a great Boston Marathon and a great city like Boston and keeping us all together, Boston strong.
Players seem to love it.
I love the bright colors. I am. I'm a bright color guy.
Jim's been wearing out the phone getting stuff sent over, so that's all you know. But when you're Jim Rice, when you get the HOF after your name, you just place a call and the stuff arrives. It's no big deal. Mo?